Bienvenidos SalsaHead Podcast. It's time to feel the beat. We're diving into rhythms where the dancers meet. From the bars till battle, we're taking you around the world of salsa music. It's the hottest sound. SalsaHead Podcast, we're moving to the groove. SalsaHead, we got nothing to lose. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Join the dance, move your feet. Artists bringing fire, bands sliding up the night. Every note, every step keeps the passion tight. From classic to the new wave, salsa's always fresh. We're here to keep you moving with every single beat. Oh, SalsaHead Podcast, we're moving to the groove. SalsaHead, we've got nothing to lose. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Join the dance, move your feet. Whoa! Bienvenidos SalsaHead Podcast. It's time to feel the beat. We're diving into rhythms where the dancers meet. From the Bronx to Havana, we're taking you around the world of salsa music. It's the hottest sound. SalsaHead Podcast, we're moving to the groove. SalsaHead, we've got nothing to lose. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Join the dance.
Dímelo SalsaHeads, and welcome back to another episode of SalsaHead Podcast, your number one source for all things salsa music and salsa culture. I'm your host, Charlie Swing DeLone, and we're going into a topic today that seems to be on everyone's mind, but hasn't really cracked the code. But before we jump in, make sure you head over to SalsaHeadPodcast.com for more episodes, updates, merch. There's information about me. If you're looking for a percussionist, you have a place to find me there. Your support is greatly appreciated. It will help grow the podcast. We can get more equipment to provide better contact for you guys. And I definitely want to make an impact in our community, and I need your help for that. So like, share, follow us on IG at SalsaHead Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube. This is greatly important to us as we start our journey. We would greatly appreciate all the support we can get as we start off and build what we have always been talking about, which is we are salsa heads, and la salsa is absolutely one of the most enthusiastic, amazing, life-giving musics that the world has ever really had, right? So definitely want to be a part of the reason why the future is bright in salsa. So thank you for that, and on to today's topic, which is support. Support. I want to take a moment to talk about support. Not about this particular podcast, right? That was my PSA. That was my advertisement there. But actually, let's call it really talking about the lack of support that salsa music has been dealing with, especially when it comes to airplay and recognition. You know what I'm talking about. The pay for play, the sometimes nepotism based experiences. Regardless of what it is, radio stations are only really playing tracks if they get a benefit out of it in some sort of way. Unfortunately, this makes it very hard, real hard, for authentic salsa to reach new audiences. I know, as a member of La Excelencia, as a founding member of La Excelencia, we had a very hard time getting radio stations to take us serious, to give us an opportunity just to showcase ourselves. And it was very clear to us, very clear. I'm not even saying, oh, it seemed like, no, they made it very clear. You do X and you will have Z. And your heart breaks. You look at your pocket, you have $20 in your pocket. You guys spent all of the money you had getting here to the studio, right? It becomes very very disheartening to continue and build. So having the support of just DJs, radio stations, podcasts, right? Promoters, different clubs, dance socials. The support Salsa is definitely lacking. Really makes it tough for up and coming salsa artists to break through. They don't have the resources to pay for airtime. Some of them don't have the resources to record an album. Some of them don't have the resources to secure a performance, believe it or not. It becomes very limiting. And it limits the diversity or richness of what we get to hear on the air, of what we get to experience. As a dancer, as a salsa head, as a salsa lover, you don't know that the New Swing Success has dope albums because they're not played on La Mega. You don't know like Silentia has 5 albums because we're not played on La Mega. So it becomes very, very limiting for up and coming artists, young bands, even bands that have been around for 20, 30, 40 years to seriously make an impact without that crucial support. And I meant it last week, I will keep it PG, but we know the realities of how much money is in the music business and how it gets there. And a lot of us aren't willing to take risks that equate to us having the money for videos, promotion, paying this guy, paying that girl, paying this situation, paying that situation. We don't have it. We just don't have it. It deflates almost all of your efforts. You go crazy on stage to sound amazing. You go home to practice. There's bands every night in New York City, throughout the city, rehearsing. While many of us are in bed, 10, 11 o'clock, these bands are hard at work. In a recording studio, in a rehearsal studio, working very hard to get things right. Practicing the same song over and over and over again. Just so that you, the dancer, you, the listener, you, the salsa head, can dance and enjoy it. But if you don't hear us, it's almost like we don't exist. And it becomes a very, very clear message of we need support. We need to support each other. We need to support this business. I mentioned it in episode 1. La salsa no está muerto. In fact, La salsa feels more alive than ever. It just isn't broadcast the way it used to be. It isn't being enriched by all of the energies. And I'll say it, reggaeton, Latin pop, even hip hop are more popular, absolutely. And they do demand all of the airways. And I get why, but it would be nice to not be a novelty music. And it seems like we've become a novelty music only because of the lack of support. And it starts with those who have access to our airwaves, all the DJs in the city. How many DJs in this city are actually playing local artists? Just because they're from your neighborhood, just because it's a new artist, let me just play it one time. A ver lo que pasa. And then you tell the band, hey, it's really hot. Let's talk. But no, we get no opportunities. We have to fight for them, claw for them. There's backstabbing. There's all kinds of negativity that goes on. All kinds of lives are ruined, specifically to further a particular person's agenda, because it's a dog eat dog world, right? Controle, in the 1970s, there was like 35,000 bands. How do you think we get the Fania All-Stars? The Fania All-Stars is not a band. It is what the name implies. When you see that picture of like 15, 18 people in one video, and that big picture that emulates the jazz picture, our kind of renaissance of salsa music picture, each one of those individuals had their own band in New York City or in Puerto Rico. Recording, promoted, people knew of their band. I mean, Say de Solan, the Apollo Sound, even Típica 73. There's so many bands that had their best of the best be part of Fania All-Stars, but you only knew of the Fania All-Star person because of the band. What happened to that? What truly happened to that? It's a shame that we have to almost, well, it's not beg. We have to pay for it. We have to pay for it. That's it. It's that simple. Pay to play. And I would love for that to end. I would love for DJs, any DJ, to challenge the status quo and start promoting local artists for the love of the game. Like, what happened to the love of the game, yo? Fam, te lo digo, ¿a dónde está el amor por la música, de verdad? Porque yo no lo veo. En ninguno de los DJs que están por el mundo, yo veo lo que están adentro de tocan lo que tocan. Tú le das lo de ellos y te lo tocan. Pero si uno está pelado, te dicen, échate pa' un lado. And it happened to me too many times. It's happened to many of us listening, and many people who are here listening. It's happened. This is not something that is like, oh, I'm exaggerating. It's something that I'm making up, or don't be so dramatic, Charlie. No. I've been in the chairs. I've been told to our face. I won't say the number or the label. I'm not doing that, but it was pretty stark for a 19-year-old who doesn't deal drugs, doesn't do anything weird, was a geek, worried about not getting home late because his parents would, like, these are the things I was thinking about. My partner was a little older in terms of his experience and what he was doing and things. But again, we're not here with these bags of money like we're from Dubai. Lack of access, lack of support, lack of resources equals lack of bands in the system, lack of creativity in your airwaves, where every year the same 4 people win the Grammy. It's very boring. Aren't you guys bored of that? Aren't you guys bored of every year's Marc Anthony, Gilberto Santa Rosa, Victor Manuel? Come on. There's so many dope artists out there with such great albums that deserve to get albums of the year. They get nothing. It's sad. And I would think that the powers that be would at least try to switch it up every once in a while. But no, they don't. Give us a surprise, right? Every once in a while, someone new wins. Every once in a while, this new artist gets an opportunity, right? Nah, it's the same people. or is under the same genre, tropical. It's become almost insulting the way salsa is treated, even in our own circles of support, of awards and accolades. I remember when I was a child, one of the biggest concerts at MSG was the salsa concert every year. Man, that was a dope concert. That's one of those. Those are one of the things that I experienced as a child that made me want to be a musician, and a badass musician at that, not just any musician. Right? I wanted to be real good, so it got me to practice and got me excited. It got me hyped up, and it got me to get my grades up because I wanted to stay playing. Where's the motivation for these kids to do anything in salsa? I don't see it. That's why we're here. That's why a lot of bands are still performing, leaving their hearts out on the stage, recording albums, right? Really putting in the work that you guys are enjoying, dancing to. And I mentioned it last week's episode. We see it every time. I see it every time from stage. You guys make me jealous, actually, because I want to be out there dancing, but I got to play. It's like I want to dance to myself performing. Yeah, but this is really what support looks like. For the love of the game. For the love of the game. Vamos a tocar en salsa. So what can we do? Right? What can we do? What's the solution? Charlie, tú estás complaining mucho. ¿Qué está pasando aquí? Well, we need to support all the platforms that do exist, right? There's a lot of platforms that exist that are true about the music, that hold no gimmicks, no hidden deals. Platform like ours that highlight salsa without any politics or any sort of hoops to jump. We have to create a safe space where the music can speak for itself, the artists can speak for themselves, where the talent and dedication is what matters, where the bands and the musicians that make up those bands is what matters. So go out this week. Go check out Gonzalez. Go out this weekend. Go to one of the socials. Check out all the listings. There's a listing on Google. If you go to Salsa Parties, if you Google Salsa Parties NYC, there's actually a salsa calendar that you can look up. And it'll tell you. Sometimes they're good at telling you who's going to perform if it's known in advance. Definitely go check out a band this weekend. Check out who, talk to them. Say what's up. Pop out. Right? Let's keep the movement going. Because if we do that, if we continue to support, if we continue to go out and tell these bands, keep recording, we'll buy your albums, we'll subscribe to your YouTubes, we'll follow you. Just keep giving us good music. I see a future where salsa is as prominent as Latin pop is now. Because salsa was as prominent as Latin pop is now. So don't call it a comeback, but definitely I see a future where we are absolutely a lot more enthusiastic, a lot more respected. There's more money in the business. A lot more people can support themselves, and we can really grow this industry. So go out there, support your local artists, support your local musician. I'm sure you probably know some musicians. Say what's up to them, encourage them, tell them they're doing a good job. It really makes a difference. Trust and believe. We don't hear it enough. We really don't. And it's not self-serving. Sometimes it feels like we're playing for no one at times, right? Sometimes it feels like we're playing for no reason. Sometimes, right? So support your local artists. Help them grow, help the music grow. Y todos disfrutamos. That brings me to my next topic, where in the spirit of support, it brings me to a huge development in our salsa world. As you guys may know, the International Salsa Museum has been established for well over 2 years now, or maybe more. I may be misspeaking. It's a establishment that is very, very needed in our community, and the International Salsa Museum now is in the running to secure the space at the Kingsbridge Armory, right here in the Bronx, and Condado de la Salsa. This could be a game changer. Talk about the future's bright, right? Imagine walking into a massive historic space being surrounded by exhibits that honor the legends who shaped the genre, the culture, where it came from the pioneers of Johnny Pacheco, Celia Cruz, to the young artists like Willie Rodriguez, like myself, like Jody Music and Ron Renaissance. There's so much that we can showcase. And for us to have it all under one roof in the birthplace of salsa as we know it would be absolutely a home run. I commend the committee and all of the families that comprise the board of the International Salsa Museum, the founders. I'm proud of you guys. I believe in this vision as much as you guys do. So, the Kingsbridge Armory would be the perfect place for this. The Bronx isn't just a random location, guys. It's the heart of salsa's growth in the U.S. Salsa didn't just happen in the studios or in dance clubs. It lived in the streets, in the neighborhoods, in the souls of the community aquí en El Condado and in Spanish Harlem. Housing the International Salsa Museum in this historic space would be a way of honoring not just the music, but the entire cultural ecosystem that made salsa what it is today. The armory is huge, and there's room for exhibits, events, performances, workshops, schools that can become the beacon and breathe new life into salsa. We need this, mi gente. Salsa heads, we need this. If salsa is going to grow and to continue to inspire newer generations, we need a home for it. And the Bronx is the only place that makes sense. And the Kingsbridge Armory may not be the only place that makes sense in the Bronx, but boy, oh boy, would it be a wonderful, wonderful place. Let's make sure that the world knows how important this opportunity is. Please follow the International Salsa Museum. They're on IG. They're on YouTube. Recently, I've seen one of the founders, Willie Rodriguez, actually be featured on the news promoting the Salsa Museum and also talking about its future and its hopeful future in the Kingsbridge Armory. It's time to celebrate our music, our roots, and our future. It really is. The time is now, guys. And I'm so excited. Tengo una emoción tan alegre por lo que tenemos y por lo que va a venir. Y con Dios adelante, I know for a fact that we are definitely that generation that is here to pass the baton, build upon what was there, and keep our music alive. So definitely go check out the International Salsa Museum. Go follow them. Go check out an exhibit. They have wonderful exhibits. And I can't urge you guys enough how important support is. How important it is to like, subscribe, share your favorite artists, repost things that they do. Your favorite singer who's on IG, repost her postings, right? Or his postings. It makes a difference. And it also gives energy for that creator to continue to create for you. Because if not now, then when? It's 2024, and I think it's time for us to stand up and shout for salsa. With that said, I want you guys to come back. I'll see you back here next Wednesday as we will have another episode of the SalsaHead Podcast. We upload every Wednesday. Be sure to check out the website at SalsaHeadPodcast.com and check out the merch store, right? We have great items there, sweatshirts, t-shirts. We have purse and a coffee mug. It's really cool stuff there for you guys, and we will be creating more. So for the time being, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. And pa'lante, mi gente. Que siga la rumba.
SalsaHead Podcast, where the passion never ends. SalsaHead dancing with our friends. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. SalsaHead, let's move to the beat.